If you like this video, make sure to visit our Vimeo page and follow us to get the latest update.
Okay, so in the previous session, we have discussed about the some configuration, or I would say basically we discussed about the scenario, and based on the scenario. So we took one scenario regarding this, like I would say sourcing solution. And we discussed about, like, let's assume the customer, they are going to implement the Ariba sourcing, or we can take any of the scenario because the same process will be applicable for all the other like solutions as well. So we took one scenario and then we discussed about, like, if customer, they want to implement that particular process and particular solutions. And from the integration point of view, how we can achieve the integration, from the SAP ERP system to SAP Ariba. And based on that, we discussed about, like, that we have to perform the different kind of setup to achieve that client requirement. And in that cases, we have to perform some certain configuration in the ERP side. We have to do some certain configuration on the CIG portal, and we have to do few configuration on the Ariba network as well. So that's something we discussed, right? And then we started, like, the deep dive in the each individual configuration. So we have started our journey from the ERP side configuration, and we discussed about, like, we have to actually initially we have to install the add-on in the SAP ERP system, and after that we have to also enable the CIG, that is Cloud Integration Gateway. And parallelly, we also have to work with the cloud connector as well. And whatever things we have to follow in case of this add-on installation or CIG enablement, and we can say cloud connector, that's something we discussed. And even we have also discussed about the global setting setup as well. So basically the basis team, once they will install the add-on in the SAP ERP system, so they have to perform some certain configuration in the global settings, like they have to configure the certificate, they have to configure the port, they have to configure the RFC, they have to map the variant as well, variant and partitions as well, right? And even I believe we also discussed about the sending the SAP information from SAP ERP to Ariba system. That's something also we have discussed in the previous session. And that is actually our job as a Ariba consultant. We have to send the SAP information to Ariba CIG. And why actually we have to send the SAP information to Ariba CIG? So, from the system landscape point of view, in the ERP system, usually we have the different landscape, like we can say development system, sandbox, quality system, right? And in that cases, like, that how system Ariba system or CIG system will come to know, like, which system you want to integrate from the ERP system to Ariba. For that, we have to send the SAP information to CIG. So I believe we have done this like global settings configuration in the previous session. So are you good till here, or any question before going further? Are we on the same page?
Yes, Rohan.
Okay. Okay, so once again, let me just, that give some overview once again on this. So basically, whatever things that we are discussing here as part of this scenario, so you can, like, we can say this is going to, like, include the overall our course as well. Okay, so because in this cases, we are talking for some specific module, we can say, but whatever the configuration we are talking here, this configuration is applicable for the other module integration as well. So for example, if you're integrating the Ariba sourcing module with the ERP system, in that case also we have to follow same process. In some cases, if you're going to integrate the Ariba contract module, we have to follow same process. In some cases, we are going to integrate Ariba SLP or Ariba P2P solution. P2P means we can say buying and invoicing solution. In that case also, we have to follow same process. And even if you are going to integrate the supply chain collaboration or commerce automation, in that case also the configuration will be same. So I'm not saying like exactly the same configuration will be there in all the cases, but yes, when you talk about ERP side configuration, almost same configuration, only you will have the variation of the master data integration and the application specific settings. Even if you talk about CIG site setup, so it will also be almost same. Only the differences you will find out in the integration project creation that will vary. And also, if you're going to like perform the configuration on the Ariba side, in that cases, you may have to, that the endpoint configuration will vary. Otherwise, I would say 70 to 80% configuration will be remain same in all the other Ariba modules as well. Okay, so overall, it is going to like include the entire course curriculum as well. Only one like a topic is not included here. That is the migration from the cloud integration to the CIG. That is CI9 to CIG migration. That is not there. But apart from that, we can say this is going to include the entire our course curriculum as well. Okay. So are you following me, or anyone would like to add something here? Lalit, Srinu, anyone? I could not get you. Come again.
No, it is clear.
Lalit,
Yeah,
what about?
No questions at the moment.
Okay. Okay, so let's move to the next configuration now. So in the next configuration, if you see, we have completed this global setting configuration. In the next, we are having the Ariba network integration. So basically, this Ariba network integration is only applicable in case of the commerce automation and the supply chain collaboration. Okay, so whenever we are going to implement this commerce automation and supply chain collaboration, in that case, actually, we have to perform the configuration inside this Ariba network integration. Otherwise, if you are not going to implement these solutions, that is commerce automation or supply chain collaboration, in that cases, we don't have to perform any particular configuration here. So this training is especially for the cloud integration gateway, not for the commerce automation or supply chain collaboration. But at least let me give you some overview about this Ariba network integration as well, and that will make you some understanding. Okay. So when you actually come in this Ariba network integration, so before going to talk about the Ariba network integration, once again, if you see the global setting configuration is the pillar of the CIG implementation. So whenever we are going to implement the CIG for any of the particular integration or module integration, this global setting configuration will be the pillar. So this will be the compulsory in all the cases. We cannot ignore this global setting configuration. Inside the global setting configuration, some of the configuration will vary based on the particular module which we are going to implement. Otherwise, if you see, this is the completely pillar of the CIG integration. Okay. So once we complete this global setting configuration, we can say your base configuration has been completed, or we can say the connectivity has been completed. Now, as a Ariba consultant, we have to start our role, because the global setting configuration will be done by the basis consultant. If you are expertise in the basis area, you are having the experience, then you have to perform, you can do that. Otherwise, generally, when the basis team, they are like installing the add-on. So as part of the prerequisite, they will perform the configuration in the global settings and they will confirm to you, like this activity has been completed. You can start your functional configuration now. So from now onwards, we are going to talk about the functional configuration, which as a Ariba consultant, we have to actually perform. Okay. So if you come here in this Ariba network integration, so as I said, it is applicable for commerce automation or supply chain collaboration. So in this, we have the two configuration. One is the general settings and second is the application specific settings. Okay. So if you go to this general settings, so generally in the general settings, we are going to set up the interface. I'm not sure either you guys are aware about the commerce automation or supply chain collaboration or not. Anyone knows about like a commerce automation or supply chain collaboration process?
So I know some to some extent, but not from this perspective. Yeah, it is a direct material procurement of Ariba, where we kind of use the direct interface between the network to network and the ECC or the ERP system, where the buyer just acts as an intermediary, or in some cases that's it. So it's primarily a direct material integration sort of a thing.
That's correct. That's true.
Even I have the same understanding.
Yeah. So generally, as part of this commerce automation or supply chain collaboration, what we have to do, we have to collaborate our ERP system with the Ariba network. So in that cases, your Ariba strategic sourcing and Ariba buying invoicing will not come in the picture. And in that cases, you will have the Ariba like a network, and that collaboration we have to do with the ERP system. So in that cases, if you see your source of documents will still be like SAP ERP system. And if you see the process flow, that process will looks like this. I'm not going to talk about the entire process because this is not for this topic. This training is not for the commerce automation, but I'm just giving some high level overview to you. Now, in that cases, your system architecture will looks like this. So in that case, you will have the SAP ERP system. It could be ECC or S/4HANA. And then you can see you will have the Ariba network. And as part of this supply chain collaboration or commerce automation, what we are going to do, we are just going to collaborate our ERP system with the Ariba network. So this collaboration, or you can say the integration, we have to actually perform. And as part of this collaboration, or I would say as a result of this collaboration, what will happen, whatever the particular document you are going to create. So your source of document will be the ERP system. It does not means like once we integrate our ERP and the Ariba network, in the Ariba network will able to create the purchase order, or will able to create the, the schedule agreement, or will able to create the something like, let's say, forecast collaboration. It's not like that. So still your source of documents will be the ERP system, and whatever the particular documents you are going to create. So depending on the solutions, because in supply chain collaboration, we are having around 8 to 9, or I would say 10 features. And whatever features your customer, they are going to implement accordingly, we have to create the documents in our ERP system itself. That means your client, how they are doing earlier, so same way they have to do after the implementation of supply chain collaboration or commerce automation as well. But only differences is that once they will create the particular documents in the ERP system, the document will automatically flow to your Ariba network. And from the Ariba network, buyer means your customer and the supplier, they will have the visibility. So customer, they will able to see in their side, supplier, they will able to see in their Ariba network portal side. Okay, so this collaboration actually we are doing with the help of the commerce automation and supply chain collaboration. Now, technically, if you see, so as part of this integration, let's assume we have implemented this purchase order collaboration as part of the, you can say, commerce automation or supply chain collaboration. So in that cases, once you create the purchase order in the ERP system, this purchase order is going to reflect in the Ariba network. But the thing is that how the purchase order will flow from the ERP to Ariba system, how it will go. So in that cases, we have to set up some certain transmission medium. And in these cases, we have to set up the IDOC. Okay, so in these cases, we have to set up the IDOC. And even whenever the ERP system is going to receive any kind of communication or confirmation from the Ariba network as well. So how it will flow? It will flow with the help of the proxy. Proxy means you can say web services. Okay, like how we are sending the email. So you have to send to email to me. You will type my email in your Gmail box and you will send me. Then it will come automatically with the help of the proxy or with the help of the web services. Right. So in these cases, to collaborate our ERP system with the Ariba network, we have to do some certain transmission medium setup, and that we have to do in the form of the proxy or in the form of the IDOC. That's something we have to do that. So normally during the interview, we are getting the questions like how to set up the IDOC, how to set up the proxy. Even last time I was giving one interview, and it's, I think, 6 to 7 months before, the person asked me, do you know how to set up the IDOC? I said, yes. So I was asking some different transaction code, like, how to do with BDC 87, how we can do from WE01, how we can do from WE05, how to set up the partner profile. So in these cases, we don't have to perform a kind of like, that IDOC configuration like separately. So generally, whenever we are going to integrate any third-party system, and if you are going to send the information via the IDOC, so we have to configure separately. We have to configure the message type, right? We have to configure the different kind of port there. We have to configure the partner profile for that. So different things we have to do separately, right? But in these cases, as part of this ERP and Ariba network collaboration, we don't have to perform this kind of configuration separately. Why? So SAP has given the standard functionality for this. You have to simply set up the interface. And once you set up the interface, and it's a kind of only execution. Once you set up the interface, in that cases, system will automatically build up this particular, like, like transmission medium. So wherever IDOC is applicable, system will automatically build up the IDOC in the background. Wherever proxy is applicable, system will automatically build up the proxy automatically. Okay, but how system will do this kind of thing? Then system will do this kind of thing with the help of this set up the interface. So when you come here inside the Ariba network integration, we have to go in this setup the interface. And when you expand this setup the interface, here we can see we have the config node that is configure the connections to send the message. This is very important configuration in case of the supply chain collaboration or commerce automation implementation. Okay, so once we come here and when you will execute this particular transactions, in these transactions, you will able to see all the particular document flow as part of the inbound or as part of the outbound. So we can see this is the screen, and in this screen, we can see we are having two different sections. First sections, if you see, we can see interface setup for the IDOC. Right. And inside this interface setup for the IDOC, we can see we have two options. One is that outbound messages sent to Ariba CIG. And the second option is that inbound messages sent from the CIG. So outbound messages sent to CIG means ERP to your CIG system. CIG means you can say Ariba. And inbound messages sent from CIG means whatever the informations you are receiving from the CIG to ERP system, that is the inbound messages. So whatever the particular documents you are going to receive or you are going to send as part of the IDOC, that we can select here. So in case of the outbound messages, if you want to select, we can select the purchase order, because generally we have to send the purchase order from the ERP to Ariba system. We can select the purchase order here. As part of the inbound messages, you may receive the invoice from supplier. You can choose the invoice, you can choose the order confirmation. This kind of document we can choose. Same way we can come downside, and in the downside we can see we are having the interface setup for web services. And in case of web services also, you can see outbound messages sent to CIG, and same way if you come downside, inbound messages sent to CIG. So whatever the particular document is applicable as part of the outbound messages, outbound means what information you are going to send from the ERP to the Ariba system. So you can choose any particular document here, like invoice status update, payment proposal, product activity message, service sheet response, ship notice request, quality notification, remittance cancellation, quality inspection decision, different outbound documents you can select here. Same way, whatever the particular documents you are going to receive from as part of the inbound from Ariba to ERP, that inbound document you can select here. That is advance ship notice, component consumption request, document status update, service sheet update. You can choose and any particular document here. So once you choose any of the particular document here, then based on this, we have to like do all this required selection, and we have to click on the execute. And once you click on this execute, the system will automatically build up the interface. So for which particular document the IDOC is applicable, IDOC will automatically get defined. It will be set up automatically. For which particular document the web services is applicable, that is proxy is applicable, that proxy will automatically get set up here. So we don't have to perform any separate configuration for this interface setup. Okay, so that is why SAP Ariba or especially the CIG is called as a matured product, because all these things SAP has given in the background, and we in the foreground we have to only give our criteria depending on the scope, whatever the particular document that is in a scope. Accordingly, we have to just enable or we have to keep disable that activity. We have to do that. Okay, so this is the one important configurations that actually we have to perform as part of the Ariba network. And apart from that, if you see the many other configurations, like we have to configure something, if it enable the vendors, with the help of that, we can enable the supply chain collaboration or commerce automation vendor, right? We can also maintain some vendor for the outbound transactions. This is applicable in case of the, that consignment collaboration, subcontracting collaboration. We have to maintain this kind of thing information. And apart from that, we also have to maintain the application specific setting. So here we can see different kind of applications we have. Like if you're going to, integrate the purchase order, we can configure the purchase order configuration here. We can configure scheduling agreement release configuration. We can configure order confirmation. We can configure receipt. We can configure service sheet, invoice, payment, different things we can do. Okay. And even apart from this, we have some few more as well. So in case if you are going to implement the quality collaboration or forecast collaboration, so we can see some additional features configuration also. It is there inside this Ariba supply chain collaboration, that is quality inspection, quality notification, ship notice request, right? And some other issues. It is something like, that SAP has given here. So this is just only for the information purpose. As I said earlier as well, this workshop is not for the supply chain collaboration or commerce automation training. But since this is a part of this CIG configuration, I just gave you high level overview. But I believe if you are more interested to learn the supply chain collaboration or commerce automation, for that we are conducting separate workshop. You can connect with the team and we can do that. Okay. So this is something about this supply chain collaboration, commerce automation, that just I gave you high level overview. Now we will talk about as part of CIG integration in detail level, that is the master data integration. But before going to talk about master data integration, any question, comment, suggestion from anyone?
No, Raman, I'm good.
Okay, now let's talk about this master data integration. So, in the SAP Ariba side, we do not have the flexibility to create any particular master data, except supplier, right? That I believe you already aware. And why except supplier? Because for the supplier, SAP has given the Ariba SLP module. And with the help of this, we can actually create the supply record in the SAP ERP system, in the Ariba system. But apart from that, whatever the different kind of master data we required, so we don't have the flexibility to create directly in the SAP Ariba system. We have the two options. One option is that like you can perform the file upload. So you can prepare the file manually, and the source of data will be different system. And based on the data, you can prepare the file manually. You can load in the Ariba with the help of the import and export task. That is the one option we have. Right. Apart from that, we have the other option, like in some cases, if you are having the backend SAP system. So as part of the integration, you can actually integrate the master data from the SAP ERP to the Ariba system. Okay. So for that, like requirement, SAP has given this config node, that is the master data integration. And even from the master data integration point of view, SAP has given two options to the customer. Earlier, it was only one option, that is the master data integration. But now in the recent releases, SAP has also given this option, that is the master data native integration. Okay, so I would say actually the master data native integration is a simplified process of the master data integration. You can use only one. It's not like that we have to use the both. We can use only one. Either you can use the master data integration or you can use this master data native integration as well. So depending on the scope, whatever things that you want to, that use, you can use as per your choice. But differences is that both are making same sense. But thing is that in case of the master data native integration, SAP has simplified the process. We are having more options to integrate the master data. Whereas in case of the master data integration, many things are clubbed together. And sometimes customer, they are facing some challenges while integrating the master data from the ERP to the Ariba system. Okay, so let's talk about both the config node, that is the master data integration and master data native integration. So let's first explore this master data integration, then we'll talk about the master data native integration as well. So when we come in this master data integration, so we can see we are having the different kind of config node here. It's not like that all the config node applicable. So whatever the config node is applicable for us, we'll talk about all those topic. So first we have to go in the general settings under this master data integration, and inside the general settings, we can see we have the different config node here. Okay, but before going to talk about or before going to explore this master data integration or any of the, it is applicable for any of the other CIG integration as well. So SAP has given one document that is called as a CIG cookbook. You can tell CIG cookbook, or even you can call them that is called as a cloud integration gateway configuration guide as well. So to perform this integration, SAP has also given this document. This document is called as SAP ARIBA Cloud Integration Gateway Configuration Guide. And this document is available that on the Ariba Connect. If you have the access of the Ariba Connect, you can go there, you can simply extract the document, you can save in your local machine. Okay, so whatever the different configurations that actually we have to perform as part of the cloud integration gateway configuration, all the particular document, all the particular configuration you will able to see in this CIG cookbook. Okay, so even SAP is also recommending before going to start working on the CIG configuration, please refer the CIG cookbook. And also you have to refer the latest CIG cookbook, because whatever the different config that is there, and if some changes happens in the configuration and you are not aware, in that cases, it may create some problem. And not only this, even we will see in some time. So even for all the particular config node, SAP has given the standard or predefined variable. We have to only maintain the data there. So for understanding purpose, how we came to know which data we have to enter, whatever supported values we have to give the year. For this understanding, we can actually, refer the CIG cookbook, and in the CIG cookbook, all the particular configuration is given here. Okay, so even for example, if I'll go to my ERP system once again, and we can see we are going to start talking about the first configuration, that is the general settings under master data integration. And in the general settings, we can see we have the config node, that is configure external commands for operating system. Okay, now if you come here, if you open this particular configuration, so you may see or you may not be able to understand what exactly we have to do in these cases. So once you see that particular screen, you will see the different kind of informations, like you can see here. Okay, and if you try to understand, we can see SAP has given, these are the predefined information that SAP has added by themselves. And once you will install the add-on, this configuration you will able to see by default. But here, as a functional consultant or as CIG consultant or Ariba consultant, it's very hard to understand what is this command name, what is the operating system, what is the program name, what is the functionality of the program name, what parameters we have to maintain as part of external program, what is the like additional column. So this is very hard to understand this. Might be if you put your effort, you will do some Google, you will search on the Ariba Connect, you may understand some of the commands, some of the program. But if you see, we are having the list of the program here, and it's very hard to understand this. Okay, so generally what SAP is recommending in these cases, you don't have to do anything from your side. So when you're starting your CIG implementation, once you arrived on this particular config node, nothing to worry. You have to just simply open the CIG cookbook, CIG configuration guide. And in the CIG configuration guide, try to find out this config node, that is how to configure external commands for the operating system. Okay, and once you find out this particular config node, then if you navigate to this step, then here you will see the step-by-step information itself, what actually we have to do here. So we can see, we open the same configuration to configure the external command for operating system. Now you can see all the process, it is given as a standard. Go to SPRO, IMG, integration with other SAP component, Ariba CIG, master data integration, general settings, and then click on the create, the external command skin appears, maintain the following values for the operating system. That's it. So once you find out, then we have to come here once again, and here we can see we have the option of the create. You can see here, you can simply click on this create option. And once you click on the create option, then just you have to maintain all the informations one by one. So whatever different entry you can see as part of the command name, this you have to enter here. And whatever values, that's something it required there, that's something also SAP has given as a standard. Okay, so we have to simply just follow the copy and paste. You can copy all the particular information and that you have to maintain in the command. That's it. This is the activity we have to actually perform. Okay, so this is a kind of technical things, and it is completely predefined. So we have to simply just mirror up from the CIG cookbook to Ariba. That's what the best practice we are following in these cases. And in these cases, we don't have to think much. Okay, because this is also SAP recommendation. Okay, so this information we have to maintain here as part of this configure the external command. And now in the next, if you see, we have the option that is the configure Ariba incremental extract event. Okay, so what is happening whenever we are integrating the master data from the SAP ERP to the Ariba system? And we are sending two different kind of informations from the two different kind of master data from the ERPs to the Ariba system. One is that newly created. Second is the incremental. Incremental means we can say updated. Right. So let's say, for example, we are sending the list of the supplier, list of the cost center, list of GL account from ERP system to Ariba system automatically, with the help of the master data integration. And in their cases, so initially we are expecting like whatever the list of supplier record or whatever the list of GL account cost center, that's something we have created that should go to the Ariba system. But not only about the creation, even later point of time, because in the ERP system we have the flexibility. Sometimes we are also updating the master data. Right. So like today supplier name is something supplier name is something different, or address is something different. Tomorrow, if I require, I will change the supplier name, supplier address. Right. Or sometimes we are changing the GL account and cost center as well. Right. So whatever that newly created master data integration, that basically you will do. But apart from that, whatever the master data that you want to send as part of the incremental extract. whatever the list of updated master data that you want to send from the ERP to the CIG, that configuration we have to actually perform here inside this configure the Ariba incremental extract event. So when you come to this particular configuration, if you open this particular configuration, here you will able to see the list of the predefined object, and based on the requirement. So this object is not customizable. I will not say not customizable completely. We can customize with the help of the ABAP team. But generally, we are not also preferring to customize this kind of object because it's not so easy. And whatever different object you can see, like cost center, general ledger, asset, supplier, user, sourcing master data, buyer catalog upload request. So for whatever the master data, you want to enable the incremental extract. So let's say, for example, as a customer, we are going to only implement Ariba buying and invoicing solution. So in these cases, we require the cost center, we require general ledger, asset is not in our scope, supplier we required, user is required, sourcing metal master not applicable in our cases, and even the buyer catalog upload request is not applicable in my cases. So in my cases, I want to only enable this 4 master data as part of the incremental extract, that is cost center, supplier, general ledger, and the user. So this 4 object we want to change as part of this incremental. You can select this and click on this execute. So once you click on the execute, then system will run this particular report and it will set up the event for the cost center updated. Okay, so like here we can see now system is saying something, this event is already exist. That means whatever that, like, that cost center change, created, deleted. So generally, from the update point of view, you can say either we are changing or we are deleting these 2 activity we are doing, and accordingly system will automatically set up this relationship here. That means we have enabled the Ariba incremental extract event. Okay, so this kind of thing actually we have to perform here. Now, once you complete this activity, now tell me one thing. This is actually one interview questions as well. Please try to participate. Now, let's say we have enabled the incremental extract event. Let's say, for example, GL account, right? Now, the thing is that, so our requirement is that whenever any business user, or we take very simple like the example, that is supplier. So if you see in the ERP side, so in the supplier master data we are having different kind of informations. If you go to general view, purchasing view, company code view, you will see lots of information, right? And depending on the requirement, whatever the information we want to update, we can update. We have the flexibility. But the question is that since this updated supply information, we are also going to send to Ariba as well as part of the master data integration. All right. So the question is that as a customer, we would like to identify the list of field. So if the business user, they will make the changes in that field, then only the incremental extract should go. Because you will see, you may have 1,000 of the field, 100 of the field in the ERP side. So if you are going to make changes in any of the other field and that field is not relevant to Ariba, so why unnecessary we have to send to Ariba? Because Ariba, that field is not relevant to Ariba, and even the information will not get stored in the Ariba itself. So why unnecessary we have to give the load to system? So our requirement is that we want to send the incremental extract based on some certain field that we want to identify. And if the business user, they will make the changes in that field, then only this information should go to the Ariba system. How we can do that? Any guess from anyone?
Maybe we have some filter parameters defined. Because generally in an AI-based system, we have some filter. In case of PeopleSoft, we have some parameters that define these things so that the data is picked based on that specific fields in the PeopleSoft system. Maybe we have some similar query parameters or filter parameters to say so that the data is picked based on that filter parameters.
Using variables and filters, Rohit. I mean, TVRVC, we maintain parameters and filters, right?
That's true. So this kind of options SAP has given as a standard because this is a kind of general requirement as a customer. Right. So this kind of options SAP has given as a standard, and for that SAP has given this config node, that is configure Ariba master data incremental field restrictions. Okay, so in that cases we have to work with this configuration, that is configure Ariba master data incremental field restriction. So we can come to this particular configuration, and if you open this configuration, depending on the object, whatever the object you are going to send as part of the incremental extract, depending on the object, you will able to see the list of the field restriction. Field restriction means field list of the field choice, and if we'll make the changes in that field, then only that information will go to the Ariba system. So once you come here to this particular configuration in the field restriction, here you can choose any of the particular data extract, whatever you want to choose, you can choose. Like we can see asset, catalog, cost center, general ledger, supplier, sourcing metal master, user. You can choose any particular object here. So same field, same object, we have seen that earlier in the previous configuration node while enabling the incremental extract event. And the same kind of similar field we can see here itself. So for whatever the object you want to see the incremental this field restriction, we can see here. So we can come to this option and you can choose any of the field. Like let's say I'm going to take this users. I will come here, I will select this user, double click on this user. And once I'll double click on this user, then system will select this particular user, or we can say KOSTLs. This is a technical field name. System will choose this particular that object here. And now if you click on the execute, you will able to see the list of the field which is restricted only for the Ariba. Right. So in this cases, that SAP has given only one field. And what is that field? You can see here CSKSB underscore VERAK underscore user underscore old, and something you can say equal to not equal to whatever. Then same way you can see CSKSB VERAK underscore user underscore new. You can see new and old. Now what is this? So you can simply understand. Let's say first, let's try to understand what is this CSKSB. How we can understand what is the CSKSB? Open the transaction code SE11. Okay. And once you open this SE11 transaction code, then you have to actually give the field name, that is CSKSB. So here we can enter the field name CSKSB. And once you enter the CSKSB, let's see what is this. So CSKSB, it looks like cost center master structure for change document. So it is saying cost center master structure for change document. And inside that we have one field, that is VERAK. Now what is the VERAK? So let's try to find out here itself. VERAK. We can see person responsible. right? I'm not sure if you're aware about this cost center configuration in ERP side or not. So if you know, then you might have seen that while creating the cost center from the KA01 transaction code, we have to specify the person responsible, right? So as part of this incremental, as part of this cost center integration, from the ERP system, we are also sending the person responsible. And in some cases, if you are going to make any kind of changes in the person responsible value, that is VERAK, and if the value is something getting changed from old to new, then this information will only go to the Ariba system. Apart from that, if you're going to make any other changes, might be you goes the year, you maintain some different information the year that is not relevant to Ariba. In that case, nothing is going to happen. Okay, because that field is not, that information is not relevant to the Ariba system. So not only this, even if you choose any other that object, like let's say, for example, I would like to say for the GL account, right? So for GL account as well, we are having the different like list of field. So same way we can come here, or even you can check the cost center as well in the detail label. So we can say here itself, we are having the 3 cost center, cost center, cost center, cost center. But why 3? Because one is a create, second is the update, and we can see third is the delete. So if you see here, we can see, you can see cost center change, cost center deleted, and once again cost center change here. And also we are having one cost center deleted. 4. So we can choose any of the particular option which you want to see. So let's say, for example, I am going to select cost center change. I will come here, double click on this. And same way, once I'll click on the execute, I will able to see the list of field. So here also we can see in case of this cost center change, we are having the list of different field. And here also we can see how system designed this. So we can see CSKSB underscore K text old, CSKSB underscore K text underscore new. That means if you're going to make some changes in the K text. Now, what is the K text? K text means, I think, description of the cost center. So, but you can find out here itself. Sorry, it was there in the CSKB only, but let me just type here. K text. Check what is the K text. You will able to find out here. General name. So general name of the cost center. That means if you are going to make any changes in the general name of the cost center, that will go to Ariba. Or if you are going to make any changes in the long text, L text means long text, then this information will go to Ariba. So like that, these are the informations that SAP has given as a standard. But sometime, let me share one of my past experience in these cases. So apart from this, sometimes some customer, they may require some additional field as well, like they want to send this additional field information from the the as part of this master data. So in that cases, we have to work with the ABAP consultant. We also have to work with the Ariba shared service team as well, and we have to work with the ABAP consultant. We have to ask them to do some adjustment in that particular that expressions what it is configured there. They will add a kind of new expressions there. So this option is possible. If you required, we can raise the request to ABAP consultant. They can do that based on your requirement. So this kind of an option is there in the ERP system. Making some sense? Are you guys okay? Getting it?
Yeah, Rohan.
Okay. Then apart from that, in the next, we have the configure Ariba event linkage. Now, if you come to this, and at any point of time, whenever we are going to perform some configuration, so might be in some certain cases or not in certain cases, in most of the cases, we make a different kind of things like what to do, how to do, right? So this information you can only understand based on the experience, even if you refer the CIG cookbook. So in the CIG cookbook, you will able to find out the step. it will not give you the exact information what we have to do, what will be the impact of this, and what will happen if you will not maintain this kind of information. This thing you will not able to find out in the system, right? This kind of information will come as per your experience only. Right. So now the same way, if you, apart from this, in some cases, if you are getting some confusion, like what to maintain the information in that, so even you can open this SAP documentation as well, which is available in the screen itself. You can open this particular documentation, and here also, this is same thing what we have seen in the CIG cookbook. Similar kind of informations you will able to find out in the SAP documentation as well. So with the help of this itself, with the help of this also, if you want to enable or you want to perform some certain configurations, so we can perform here. Okay. Now, in this case as well, like, if you see this particular configuration, configure Ariba event linkage, if you open this particular configuration, so this kind of information also SAP has given the standard. Almost all the information SAP has given as a standard. But here also, when you come, you will see you are having the different event linkage here. Okay. So whatever the event linkage, that something is applicable as a standard. That kind of event linkage, like, we can see here, but apart from that, some of the event linkage, we have to actually configure based on our requirement. So let me just give you a normal scenario to understand, like in which cases we have to configure the event linkage. So let's say, for example, you are receiving the invoice from the Ariba Network Supplier Portal. So you have implemented the Ariba, let's say Ariba Commerce Automation. And, as part of the Ariba Commerce Automation or supply chain collaboration, we are having the flexibility. We can receive the invoice from the Ariba Network Supplier Portal to our ERP system itself. This kind of options we have. Okay. So in that cases, supplier, they are sending the attachment, to you. So you want to receive the attachment in the ERP system itself. So how we can receive the attachment in the ERP system? For that, we have to generate the event. We have to create the event linkage, right? So how actually we have to create the event linkage? So once you come here to this particular screen, here we can see we have the options of the new entries. You can click on the new entries here. And you have to refer the CIG cookbook. You can refer the CIG cookbook, and from the CIG cookbook, you will able to find out the information here. So let me try to show you. Like this, you can see. So we can come here, and here we can see different kind of, like, this event linkage options are SAP has given. We have to just copy and paste all the particular information, and then the event linkage will automatically be aligned. Okay. So in these cases, if you see as part of the event linkage, it's not about only a kind of a small entry or simple entry. You can, if you see that information is a technical, like you can see class name, interface name, and the method. So these are basically the technical codings or informations that is there. And this information, so we have to actually maintain the year as part of the event linkage. That's something we can do here. So depending on the requirement, whatever the particular event linkage, that's something applicable. That event linkage we can maintain here, and based on that, whatever transactions we are actually expecting, based on that, the event linkage will get automatically like enabled here. Okay, so all these particular informations, like, the function modules, classes, and the receiver classes, all the informations SAP has given as a standard. Only we have to just maintain here. Maintaining here in the sense you are saying, yes, for our client, this kind of functionality that we want to enable. That's why you're maintaining this information. And once you do that, that means your event linkage will be in the place. Okay. Then apart from that, if you come to the next configuration, so next configuration, Ariba HR event linkage, this is basically applicable if you're having the HR table in the ERP system, you're maintaining the information, and you want to send the info for the user SAP ERP user ID integration, we are actually doing this kind of configuration, right? So this is something I've not seen that in many cases, but in some certain cases, if you want to do that, you can do that. And it is also a kind of very simple, like, configuration. You can open the CIG cookbook, and in the CIG cookbook itself, you will have the information, what entry we have to maintain, you can see. So the complete entry, it is maintained, it is mentioned here in the CIG cookbook. You have to simply copy, and then you have to actually just maintain here. That's it. Okay. So this is something optional configuration. You may not have to perform in all the configuration. Written integration is something different thing. Now, the most important thing is that maintain parameters and the maintain filters. Okay. So as we discussed earlier as well about some incremental load field restriction, and the same way we can convert the question for the creation as well. So for example, you can say in the customer ERP system, they are having around 10 company codes or 20 plant, but they don't want to enable the CIG functionality for all the 10 company code or 20 plant. They want to enable only for the, like, that out of 10 company code, they want to enable only for 6 company code, right? Or your customer, they are having the list of the, like, that 5,000 record in the ERP system, but out of 5,000 supply record, they want to send only the 2,000 supply record to the Ariba system, because rest 3,000 supplier, that is a kind of warehouse supplier. So like this, whatever the different kind of restrictions, that's something you may get during that, like, that implementation. So we can maintain this field restriction as well with the help of the maintain parameters and the maintain filters. Okay, but what we have to maintain the parameters and filter, that will talk in some time. Before that, any question, comment from anyone? Today
Yeah, one
everyone feels
question.
like very silence. What happened?
It is clear. We have seen similar kind of configuration when I worked on SRM.
That's
So,
good.
yeah, so I can observe.
That's good.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions, Rohan. So when you said this Ariba event linkages, right? So the Ariba event linkages is so I've seen some BAPIs or bodies that is actually getting triggered from the CIG. So is it something related to that? I mean, when you
Exactly.
make some, okay.
That's why we have
So we
seen
can
that,
also,
that.
mm,
Go ahead, go ahead.
no, sorry, go ahead, sorry.
That's why we have seen that different function module there. So when you come to this screen, if you go here on new entries, you can see function module options there. That's correct.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. And the next one is the HR event linkage. What exactly is that? I'm quite unclear about it. Why do we use that? What is the actual use case or business case for that?
Okay. If you're having the HR module, right? So
Mm,
if you have the HR module in the ERP system, that means you are maintaining the HR database information, that we can say your SAP ERP user information, and that you
mm,
want to send to the Ariba system. So we have the
okay.
flexibility, like, we can integrate our SAP ERP SAP user ID process as well to the Ariba system automatically. Okay,
Okay.
because in most of the cases, if you see in the ERP side, to manage the user ID and roles activity, we are having the basis team or application
Mm,
security team, or you can say GRC team as well, right? But in the ERP side, you will not have the basis team, GRC team. That is our job as the Ariba consultant, right? So
mm,
customers, they're thinking like, why? And even if you want to, you have to maintain in the Ariba side. So you might have seen that the groups, we have different
yeah.
roles in the Ariba, right? And so client, they may say like, why we have to maintain the employee record or user ID record in the Ariba side, since we are already having our dedicated team, they are taking care in the ERP system. So why not we can integrate user master as well?
Yeah.
We'll talk on this part in
Got it.
coming session. So for that purpose, we have the flexibility. We can maintain that information, and we will be able to do the integration.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Rohan. Yeah. So in case of success factors or other things, right? So we just switch off this and we just enable the data from success factors or HCM module, whatever module that we have, and we'll not use this here. Is my understanding right?
Yeah. Yes, that's right. This configuration is also very optional. Even it's not mandatory. Like if you want to integrate the SAP user ID to Ariba, then
Correct.
we must
Yeah.
have to enable this. It's not like that. Without this, we can
Mm.
achieve it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for that.
Okay. One thing I missed to ask you guys. So anyone have any idea how to integrate the like let's say my client, they are having the Ariba buying and invoicing solution. They want to integrate the ERP metal code to with the Ariba buying and invoicing solution. How we can do that? Anyone knows?
We'll have the material group defined for that, and we'll have a mapping file.
I'm asking about ERP metal code, metal master.
Via CME is what we do.
Let me tell you in different way. So, you know, in the ERP side, we can create the purchase requisition, purchase order with the ERP metal code. Like if I can show you here. You can see this purchase order, right? So you can see here I'm having the material master here, SP001. Okay. Now my requirement is that like when we'll create any requisition in the buying and invoicing solution, and when then requisition will come to ERP system to determine this metal master itself. Or this way either we can do, or this ERP metal code should be visible in the Ariba buying and invoicing solution as well.
Yeah, we can map the UNSPC commodity code to the ERP commodity code, and that will automatically tell or the CME file will actually define what material group has to of the ERP commodity code of the ERP should be mapped with the UNSPC commodity code that is in the Ariba.
No. That is for the partitions commodity code, man.
Yeah, okay.
What is CME file?
It's commodity export map entry, right? So there we define this ERP commodity code, or the partition commodity code in general will be the ERP, the material group or the commodity code that is defined in the ERP that will map in the CME, so that whatever accounting or the material group data that is coming from Ariba to any external system will have that partition commodity code in it.
Yeah, understood. I was asking what is CME file. CME file means you can say the CSV file.
Yeah, the commodity export map entry CSV file, yes, where we define the linkage between the accounting information and the commodity code information. We have a separate file for that to manage the accounting in the transaction data.
That's true, but that will only support you for the metal group mapping, not with the metal master.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Anyone else having any experience on this, Lalit or Shinu?
No, Rohan.
Okay, I seen that this is my like a last project, but that time I involved very late, and it was all the setup has been done earlier. So I've seen that this kind of functionality, but same requirement we have with the current client, but we are unable to achieve that. Even I spoke to the Ariba shared service team as well. But I think Ariba shared service team, they are down the level as compared to us as well. They also don't know how to do that. Okay, that's fine. Okay, one thing I missed to tell you. So if you are preparing for the CIG certification, so last week I gave CIG certification and I cleared this. So in the CIG certification, one question was there regarding this, like, HR event linkage, this value this like what information we have to maintain. So in that CIG certification, there was one question like what to integrate our HR master, what different kind of info type we have to actually maintain. So in that one, there was having the 4 options like 0001, 0002, 0105, and even it was mentioned something 0510, something like that. And we have to choose the 2 correct answers. So please remember, in that cases, this input type we have to maintain 0001, 0002, and 0105. So this 3 entry is correct. So if you're appearing for certification or planning to appear, then this question, this value will help you. So once again, remember to integrate our HR master from the ERP system. To integrate the HR master in the ERP system, we have to maintain some info type. And what different kind of info type we have to maintain? We have to maintain 0001, 0002, and the 0105. This is just for your information purpose. Okay. Okay, now let's talk about the next configuration here. So next we can see we have the maintain parameters and the maintain filters here. So actually, if you see in the maintain parameter, so when we expand this maintain parameter, we have to perform 3 configuration, that is cross applications, procurement, and the sourcing. These 3 configuration we have to actually perform. So what is the cross applications? As you know, it is applicable for both the solutions, that is strategic sourcing and the P2P. Procurement is only for the Ariba buying and invoicing solution, or we can say procurement P2P, and sourcing is for the only strategic sourcing. So what actually we have to do here? So we have to actually enable the particular event, like which event or which extract you want to actually enable in the SAP ERP for the respective to this particular solutions. For example, if you're having the complete Ariba suite, in that cases, you may have to enable some of the particular extract which is applicable for the upstream, downstream both. Or if you're having only the downstream part, so in that cases, you have to enable some certain parameter, some particular like extract, which will be only applicable for the Ariba P2P itself. So whatever the different kind of extract you want to actually enable, we can enable with the help of the maintain parameters. Otherwise, how system will come to know, like which information system has to extract, which information system has to send to the ERP system, how system will come to know. So system will come to know with the help of this information only, that is the maintain parameter. So whatever the like particular object you are going to enable here, based on that system will understand this particular object, system needs to extract and send it to Ariba. Okay, so how we can do that? So we can come here in the maintain parameters, and if you go in the cross application, inside the cross applications, you will able to see the predefined variables, and that variables what we are going to see, that is the standard variable SAP has given, and based on the requirement, whatever the particular variable you want to maintain, you can maintain any of the variables here. So generally, in case of this cross application component, we have to enable the variable about the change doc wait time second. So this is for about like, incremental, like how long system has to wait to extract the information and to send the information to CIG. That entry you can maintain. You can maintain the default language as well, in which language you want to send the communication or payload from the ERP to Ariba. Then we have to also maintain the directory as well. So generally, when we are sending the any particular master data, so for that SAP has given one master data program, and that master data program we have to run in the foreground or in the background with the help of the batch job. And the year we have to specify, like in which directory the extract will get saved, and from where the extract will pick and it will go to Ariba system. So what for that purpose, we have to specify the temporary directory here that we can actually maintain here. So how we have to maintain this particular information? So once you come here, click on the modify. And once you click on the modify, this page will be editable. And depending on the solution, whatever the variant and partitions, even in the previous session as well, we discussed about the variant and partition. So whatever the particular variant and partition is applicable in your cases, you can maintain the variant and partitions here. And in the low column, you can maintain the value. So in which language you want to send, you can mention the language here. And what is the directory you have created, you can maintain the directory name here. So all these informations you can actually maintain in the cross application master data. Okay. Not only this, even if you go to the other configuration, like in case of this procurement and the sourcing, there also you will able to see list of the variable. So if you go to the procurement here, you will able to see the list of variable. And once again, this variable is purely standard. It's not in our hand, like we cannot customize this. We have to only enable or disable, that's it. So like here we can see now we are in the Ariba procurement master data, and list of variable you can see as a standard. And as of now, all the variables is disabled. But if you want to enable, so then for that we have to come here, click on the modify. Then same way, this page will be a table, and whatever the particular variable you want to enable, you can enable as well. Okay. But one thing you may think, how we came to know which particular variable we have to enable or which particular variable we have to keep disable, how we came to know. So in this cases, your experience will come in the picture. If you're having the good experience, you can easily understand that, like which master data you are expecting to send from ERP to Ariba. Based on that, we can enable or disable. Or else you can go to the CIG cookbook. And in the CIG cookbook as well, all the informations are clearly given here. So for example, if I'll come here, and we can see we have the config node importing master data for SAP Ariba procurement solutions. And in this case as well, you can see the first config node is that how to maintain parameters for SAP Ariba procurement solutions. So once you open this particular configuration, then here as well, you can see we are having the same config informations here, like go to SPRO, then CIG, master data integration, general settings, maintain parameters, procurement. And here you can see all the variables here itself. But in these cases, you will find out some description as well. Like here we can see applicable for the SAP Ariba procurement solutions. This is an optional field. Set this parameter to enable general ledger export extract to pull and use balance sheet account. So this is for the GL account, general ledger account. So if you're going to send the GL account information from the ERP to the Ariba system, in that case, we have to enable this particular variable. And how we can enable this information is also given as part of the supported value. Like we can see variable name, balance sheet account, field name, leave it blank, number 4 times 0, variant partition, your system is specific variant and partition. Then in the low column, we have to specify allow to fetch if you want to enable this, or you can maintain this allow if you don't want to fetch this. So depending on the choice, whatever the particular options you want to maintain here, you can maintain. So same way here as well, you can maintain the variant. In the partitions, you can maintain the partitions. And here, if you want to allow it, that means if you want to fetch it, then we can maintain the allow here. Okay, so not only this, whatever the different variables you can see, even you can see we have something currency conversion bank rate, currency conversion euro rate. We are having this RL bank details. RL means remittance location. Remittance location means you can say invoicing vendor, right? So if you want to enable the invoicing vendor, that also you can maintain here the RL bank details. If you want to send this remittance location vendor address, that information also you can maintain here, right? Or even if you want to maintain, you want to send the supplier location vendor address, this information also you can maintain, you can specify here, and this will go to the Ariba system. So depending on the requirement, whatever the particular, that variable means in simple, you can say master data. Whatever the particular master data, that's something you are expecting to enable for your particular solutions. That's something we can do that. So we have to come to maintain parameter. You can enable any of the particular parameter from here. Based on that, system will have the understanding, which master data system needs to extract and send it to the Ariba. Okay, so list of variables is there as a standard. Now we have to only enable it if you required. Otherwise, we can disable it. So this is the one important configurations that we have to perform as part of this, maintain parameters. Then apart from that, if you come to the next as the maintain filter, this is very important. So as earlier you said TVRBC table, right? Or ARBC as a TVRB table. So in that table entry, we have to maintain as part of this maintain filter. Even parameter also will come there, but here we have to maintain in the maintain filter. And same config node you can see here itself, cross applications, procurement, and the sourcing. So in these cases, what we have to do, so in these cases, whatever the particular master data filter you want to do. So let's say, for example, earlier in the maintain filters, we have enabled the company code, that extract. Just I'm giving one hypothetical example. So we have enabled the company code extract from ERP to Ariba system. So that's fine. We have enabled this, but our further requirement is that like we don't want to send all the company code to the Ariba. Because in our system, we are having only we are having 10 company code, and out of 10 company code, we want to send only 5 company code. We are having the 30 plant, we want to send only 20 plant, 10 plant is not applicable for Ariba. Right. So like that, whatever the different master data filter that you want to actually perform, we can perform with the help of the maintain filters here. How we can do that? So we have to come here in the maintain filters, go to the cross applications, or you can go to any particular node. Then you will get the list of variables here itself. And against each variable, what entry you want to maintain, you can maintain here. So for example, if you see in the cross applications, you can see we are having company code export, material group export, payment term export, plant purchase export, purchase group export, purchase org export, different variable we can see. Right. Now let's say, for example, I want to enable for the company code export. So here we can see we have different information, that is field name, variant, partitions, low, and even you will have the high column as well. Can anyone try to make some case what value we have to put in the field name here in case of enable any of the filter in these cases?
BUKRS, right?
That's correct, but which field we have to maintain? I'm not talking about field name, exact field name.
SAP
My question is that
Training.
which field we want to use?
Unique name of the company code. No, I don't know the exact field name. Maybe.
Okay. No, my question is not about the exact field name. Okay, let me tell you. Now you can see we are having the company code export. Right. So in this cases, we are going to enable the, we are going to extract the list of company code in the ERP and send to Ariba. But when you talk to the client, so client, they may give you different requirement. Every client having their own flavor. I'm the client. You're asking to me like, okay, do you want to send all the company code or only few company code? I would say, no, please send all the company code. Right. That's fine. In that cases, what we'll do, we have to maintain some field name, and accordingly we have to set up the other information here. Some client, they may say, no, please don't send all the company code, because all the company codes we are not using for the procurement process, because some of the company code is just dealing the sales activity, right? So please send only those company code which are located in the US region. And outside of the US region, whatever the company code is there, that information should not go to the ERP system, to the Ariba system. They may give you this kind of requirement. When you ask to the other client, they may say, no, we are having 20 company code, but apart from that, only 1, 5, 6, 10, 20, these 4 company codes should go to the Ariba. Right. So like this, your company, your customer, they may give you different kind of requirement. So what logic SAP has given in these cases? What logic they have maintained in these cases? So in these cases, SAP has given the logic, whatever the particular field name you are going to enter here. whatever the particular field name you are going to enter here, based on the field name, like once you run this part, like master data program, we'll talk about master data program in some time. So whatever the field name you are going to enter the year, that field name system will automatically pass to the respective table. Respective table means for company code, we are having the different table. For plant code, we are having different table. For purchasing group, having different table. Even not only in this, if you go to the procurement and you know that in the sourcing, we may have different like a list of field there. So let's say, for example, we are having the company code. Now, for the company code, we have to go to the company code table. And what is the company code table? T001 table. Right. So if you want to extract the company code, it's not like that we can extract based on the BUKRS. So some mostly we are saying we have to maintain the BUKRS. It's not like that I can extract only on the BUKRS. Like if I'll give the value of the BUKRS, then only I will able to see the information. For example, I'm maintaining 1000. And if I'll not maintain the BUKRS value, so system will not give me the report. It will give. We have the multiple options here. So whatever different options you can see in this screen, this is actually your filter screen as well. So for example, I'm the customer. I want to see the company code which are located in only in the India region, IN. So what I will do, I'll maintain this IN here and I will click on this execute. Then system will show me the list of company code which are located only in the India region. That list of company code I will able to see here. You can see 138 entries. Okay, not only this, even if I'll go back, now I want to search the company code based on the other field. Like let's say this time I would like to search the field based on the currency. So I would like to see only those company which are having the currency INR. I can enter the INR here, click on the execute. Then if I'll click on the execute, system will show me the list of company which are having the currency INR. Right. So overall, I mean to say here in this cases, first we have to actually understand based on which parameter company is the customer, they want to send the company code. Right. So because sometime if they may give you some different value, like let's say they have given out of 30 plant, they have out of 30 company code, they have given the 20 company code, and 20 company code they have given random value like a 1, 5, 6, 20, 30, something like that. It's very hard to maintain. Not very hard. It's difficult to maintain here. We can maintain, but we have to maintain entry one by one like this. It's a hectic thing. So we have to understand like on which parameter, on which basis they are deciding the list of company code. So they may say we are only deciding based on the company code ID. Then in that cases, we can maintain BUKRS here. That means based on the company code ID, company code name. Some customer, they may say, no, I would like to extract based on the region. So in that cases, if they want to extract based on the region, then in that cases, we have to take this region field, that is land 1. You can paste here like this. Okay, some customer, they may say some different like other criteria. So same way you can come here. You can choose other criteria as well. Like let's say some customer, they're expecting to extract the list of company code based on chart of account. So they will not tell you in detail in technical language like this. We have to basically decide. We have to correlate. And based on that, what we can do, we can extract, we can copy this field name of chart of account. We can paste here like this. Okay, so the benefit of this is that whatever the entries you are going to maintain, like let's say our customer, they said like, that we want to only send the company code which are having which are located in the India region. That's it. So in that cases, how to maintain this entry? We can come here in the company code export. We'll maintain the field name land 1 variant, whatever the variant you have, your system specific variant, you can maintain. You can maintain the partitions here, right? Now, They have given the value like which companies are located in the like US region. Okay, so here we maintain the field of the region land one. Now which are located in the US region. That means here we'll select the sign. Sign means include or exclude. So do you want to include this one or do you want to exclude this one? So in other way, if you talk, so some customer, they may say, we are present globally, but whatever company is there in the US region, that is not part of Ariba. Other than that, all other part of Ariba send all the company code. How many company codes we have, I don't know. But I know only US region company code not belongs to Ariba, rest company code belongs to Ariba. So in that case, how you maintain the entry? So in that case, we have to choose the exclude here. E. This entry system has to exclude the US region entry, system has to exclude. Otherwise, if customer is saying only US region company code is a part of Ariba, then we have to choose include. Operator, you can choose equal to, or in some cases not equal to, in some cases between as well. If we are having the range value, you can choose, and here you can give the value as a US. Like this. Now our entry maintained. So once you maintain this particular entries here, so then when you will execute the master data program, system will first come to your TBRBC table. What you said earlier, the table name, system will go to that particular table. It will check against this variable, what field name you maintain here. So when system will find out like, okay, you maintain the land one, then system will fetch this land one field name in the runtime. Then immediately it will go to the your ERP, your company code table name. And here, once it will go to company code table name, it will pass the region. That's something, you know, like US here, right? So because it will pick the only land one field here and it will pass the field US here, and then it will click on this execute in the background. And once it will click on the execute, so whatever the company code that system will extract from here, this company code will go to the Ariba system, and in Ariba system you will able to see only 82 company code. Okay, so this kind of logic, it is already exist as a standard. Only thing is that while maintaining this table, this is a kind of table entry, you can say. While maintaining this table entry, we have to be very careful. So we have to maintain this value carefully about this, not about only this. Even if you go to the other feature, other config node, we are having a big list as well. If you go to procurement, here you will able to see list of the, you know, that variable, and we are having a good list of variable. You can see account assignment category, account field export, BP export, commitment export, cost center export, currency conversion export, right? We can see something functional area export, fund export, different information you can see here. So we have to maintain this information like, you know, one by one. And once again, not only this, even if you go to this sourcing as well, in sourcing also you will able to see. So when you see the sourcing like a config node, here you will able to see the list of the variable relevant to the sourcing, like Incoterm export, item category export, material language export, material master export, material only export. This different thing you can see here. So this activity we have to do in the parameters and the filter maintenance. Making some sense? Okay. So once you maintain this information in this, like, you know, that here in the maintain filter, then we have to come here and we can see bank master integration, nothing from our side in the bank master integration. This is if required in some cases. I've not seen that as of now any bank integration with this, but SAP has given this option now. So if finance team, they want to have the integration of the banking from the Ariba, that's something I think they can do that. But you know, Ariba is not supporting any kind of payment functionality, right? So might be if the customer, they want to perform the payment. Sorry, they want to integrate this payment bank information with the ERP. In their cases, they have to perform this particular configuration, right? Apart from that, we can see purchase info record. So this is applicable if you want to integrate your purchase info record with your ERP, with your Ariba system. So in case of the purchase info record, we can see we have the two config node. One is the maintain Ariba condition type, and second is the maintain parameters. So when you come in the maintain Ariba condition type, so here actually we have to maintain some particular condition type. So if you see this, you have to open this new entries. Now here we have to maintain the particular Ariba solutions like Ariba network, procurement, master data, and sourcing, right? So generally we can integrate with the sourcing itself, because if your customer, they are having the Ariba sourcing solution, and with the reference of the sourcing, like if we want to create the forward document of the purchase info record in the SAP ERP, that is possible in the standard way. So we can choose the Ariba sourcing integration here, or whatever you want to choose, we can choose. We have all the 4 options as per the design, but we have to use the Ariba sourcing here. And then here we have to maintain the Ariba condition type and the SAP condition type. So what is the Ariba condition type and SAP condition type? Ariba condition type means you can say gross price, right? So, in the Ariba side, whenever we are maintaining any of the particular pricing information like shipping price, total cost, freight cost, right? Or discount amount, all those things we are maintaining in the simple text. But in the ERP side, ERP system does not know about the simple text. Why? Because if you see in the ERP side, ERP system knows about your condition technique. So if you come, let me try to show you. If you come here, go to the conditions. So whenever we are talking to SAP, and let's say we have to maintain the gross price. So if you say to SAP gross price, SAP will say, I don't know what is the gross price, right? But if you say Ariba gross price, Ariba system will understand, okay, now gross price, tick, 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 finished. But our ERP system don't know what is gross price. Why? ERP system knows about this condition technique. This condition technique. So when you have to talk to the ERP system, you have to not, you should not have to tell gross price. You have to tell like PBXX. Then immediately ERP system will go in the the backend in the table. It will check what is PBXX. It will find out, okay, PBXX means gross price. Then it will say PBXX. If you say freight, so same way, ERP system don't know what is the freight. So that ERP system will not respond to you. But when you say FRA1 or let's say FBA1, then ERP system will go back to table. It will check and it will come back to, okay, now freight and value. So, ERP system having the condition technique, whereas Ariba does not have the condition technique. So for that, if we want to maintain, generally we have to maintain, we can maintain the condition type here, like Ariba condition type gross price, and SAP is a PBXX, like this. We can maintain here. I'm just giving one hypothetical example. You can refer CIG cookbook, the exact information what to maintain. I'm just giving the concept what to do in these cases. Okay, so this is the one thing we have to do in case of the purchase info record integration. Then apart from that, we have to actually maintain one parameter. And how to maintain the parameter for that? If you come back and here we can see we have the option of the maintain parameters. So we can go to the maintain parameters here, open this particular configuration of the maintain parameters. And if you see in this also, you will have the variable which we have to actually enable it. Okay, so you can see what parameter we have. We have the only one parameter, enable skills purchase info record. So generally, in the info record, we are maintaining the skill pricing as well. So for that, if you want to enable this, you can enable. How to enable? Come here, maintain the variant, maintain the partitions, and in the low column, maintain the X value like this. Okay, but one thing is very important here. Whenever we are going to maintain any of the parameter, this parameter value is a case sensitive. Okay, so this is my past experience as well. Sometimes when we are maintaining X value, and if you maintain the X value in the small, might be it will not work. That's why we have to make sure always we have to maintain in the capital. So when you maintain in the capital, then only system will understand this. Okay, so this parameter value is case sensitive, and while maintaining, we have to make sure we are maintaining the right informations here. Okay. Any question as of now here?
Yeah, Rohan, one question on the condition types. What is the necessity or what is the business case for that condition type? Yeah, I understand that we have to map the field name in Ariba to ERB, but what is the use case on that?
Okay. Use case in the sense you are talking from the condition type perspective, or use case in the sense you're talking about the purchase info record perspective?
In both perspective, because I'm not aware of the SAP ERP side of the info record stuff.
Okay. The first thing, like while creating the purchase requisition in the Ariba side, if you have to add the shipping cost or any kind of freight cost, how we are adding in the Ariba side,
Yeah, in the line level or the header level, and we'll add the charges and add taxes according to whatever line level
how
and header level.
how we are adding, like what information we are adding there? Can I say text?
Yeah, the unique name of that would be text. Yes.
Text, right? So basically, Ariba system knows about the text. If you have to add shipping cost, you can go there, you can maintain the shipping cost 5% or 5 INR, the system will accept it.
Yeah.
Correct. Because Ariba system knows about this text. But if you see in the ERP side, ERP system does not know about the text.
Okay.
ERP system is supporting the condition technique, condition-based technique. Okay. So whenever we have to talk to SAP team, SAP system always talk about the condition technique. So if you go to the, like you can see here itself, or let me show you in different way, you will able to understand. I'm just giving one hypothetical example for understanding. Okay.
Okay.
Now I'll go to this table, NAST. Just simple to show you. Now here we can see we are having the message type here. This is actually a kind of condition type, I would say. Okay. Now here if I'll come, I'll enter here print. Simple. I'm adding print here, right? Or I will add something here, email. Very simple. And I'll click on the enter and try to execute. System will give the error to me. No value is found. Why? Because ERP system don't know about the text information here. What ERP system knows about the condition type. If I'll enter an EU, right? And I click on the enter here. In this cases, if I'll click on the execute, you can see. Now system is trying to run this. So if you try to understand as a normal, what is NAU? Don't know. What is the NAU? We don't know. Email we can easily understand because that's a common word. That is a word, right? But ERP system does not even know about the word. ERP system knows about the condition technique. So when you tell to system NEU, now NEU is the one condition type that we can find out here. If you come here, click on the F4, here you will be able to see. Okay, I think we have only one. That's why not showing here, but here you will be able to see different condition type. So ERP system knows about the condition type. That's why whenever you are sending any particular document, like you are sending the PRPO from the ERP from the Ariba to ERP system, and if you added any shipping cost, and when the ERP system will receive the shipping cost information, ERP will say, I don't know what is shipping cost. So we have to tell them, we have to talk to them in the condition perspective. And for that, we are maintaining this purchase input record condition type here. So that system will able to come to know like what is the condition type in the ERP and what is the condition type in the Ariba, because from the Ariba side, shipping cost word itself is the condition type. So that is the purpose we have to actually perform this mapping.
So this is
Making
exclusive of, yeah, to some extent, Rohan. Yeah, is this mapping exclusive of whatever mapping that is already available as part of CIG? I mean, in CIG, in the reference, we'll have some mappings, default mappings that is available within CIG. So where we convert the CXML to IDOC, right? So even after that, we'll have to maintain this mapping, is it?
This is the exclusive. And why this is the exclusive apart from the default mapping? Because condition type will vary client to client. In your cases, you may have the condition type ABC. In my cases, I will have the condition type like XYZ, right? So that's why it is exclusive of the default mapping, because default mapping is the mapping of the technical field by field, right? So what is technical field by field that we have seen that earlier land one, BUKRS, those are technical field. That we cannot change it because that is the standard. But condition type, I can change it. Might be in my cases, I will ask my ERP consultant, please configure the condition type ABC. You may say, please configure the condition type XYZ. So if the Ariba will give the default mapping, definitely it's not going to work. That's why.
Okay, so this is like a custom field on the ERP side, which you are trying to map with the field that is coming from Ariba.
Ariba. Not custom field, this is standard field, but yes, we are trying to map with the Ariba. That's true.
Okay, got it, Rohan. Got it. Now I get it. Okay. So even if I have a custom field coming from, say, if I have a custom field, some XYZ coming from Ariba, I can define in the condition mapping saying that I need to map this PBXX with that XYZ, and then even the system will try to map these two at the time of running this transaction. Is it?
Your statement is true, but one correction, not the custom field. We can say value. This is for shipping cost, not a field, right? Shipping cost is the value you added. If you don't record shipping cost, you can remove the shipping cost. That's not a custom field. You can say custom field in that case is like, as a standard, we are adding the shipping cost in the Ariba, right? But now you are going to add something like a different value. So different thing that we can say custom. So it's value and rest of the statement is correct.
Okay. Yeah. Instead of shipping cost is what I'm saying. So if I add a new field to the line level and I send it across, and if I map it here, it is going to map to this field from the data that's coming from it. Okay. Got it. Okay. Thanks, Rohan. That makes it clear.
Okay. Okay. So I think let's wrap up this today's session here itself, and tomorrow we'll continue from this maintain system ID information. Okay, team. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time. See you tomorrow. Enjoy the weekend. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to visit our Vimeo page and follow for more upcoming videos.